Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me and see my screen? If you can let me know in the comments panel, I'd appreciate it. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, well, it's 11 o'clock in California. I'm Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads, and welcome, everybody. This is our class called Top Tools for More Listings. So let me ask, before we get started, I see Anna's here from Myrtle Beach, but let me ask, how are you new? If you're new to us, let me know how long you've been with us. And where are you? Like, where are you? What state, what city would really be helpful? Because actually things, when it comes to getting more listings, there's different opportunities in different parts of the country. And you've been with us a month. Thank you for joining us, because it's really helpful. So it's helpful for our clients to invest a little bit of time to see how our platform works. And when they do, and they're able to apply it to their business grows. And we've seen this year after year. Oh, Sherry, you started today. Welcome. And I think the great thing about what I'm going to discuss today and how this can help your business is what we're going to discuss today has been working for agents for years. It works over and over. And as long as you learn these kind of like handful of things and you apply them and you work your leads, your business can grow. Okay. So before we dive into all that, let me give you a high level of what Listings to Leads is about. We're an online marketing platform for realtors. We design a lot of tools, to help agents market, help them build their brand, help them get buyer leads, and help them get listings. And we do this in print, we do it with email, we do it with free social media content, and we also do it with paid ads on Facebook, Instagram, and Google. So there's a lot there. And if you're new to us, I know it can get confusing, overwhelming, but I'm going to tell you the top 5 things that realtors are benefiting from on our platform right now. Okay. And a lot of them have to do with what our discussion is today. First is expired marketing. Now, this doesn't happen for everybody. It depends on where you are in the country, but if expireds are happening in your system, in your market, we have a solution to help you turn those expired listings into your listings. Second is open house marketing. And a lot of, agents don't even want to hold an open house, but our clients have learned that open houses are the number one way of them getting more listings, which is kind of counterintuitive, because you think open house to sell a home, but actually no, open house to get more listings is a story here. Sold marketing. We're going to be discussing all 3 of these things today. Our listing presentation and our Facebook ad software, right? If you get these 5 components of our system into your business effectively and consistently, and you work your leads, your business will grow. We have seen it over and over and over, right? So before we go further into it, I want to ask, because we got a lot of new people here. Has anybody heard the story? It's a story that it generates a lot of interest here, but it's an email and a subject that we talked about of an agent generating 16 listings in 2 weeks. Does anybody know this story? Because we're here to talk about how to get more listings. So I thought maybe today we should just bring this up right now, right off the bat. Is anybody not familiar with this story? It's this gentleman here, Fabrice. Yeah, and you've heard it, right? So I'm going to just tell you, there's a couple stories on this YouTube channel that all of you should see, because like I said, we've been doing this since 2009. The concepts I'm going to describe to you here are not new to us. They are new to you, but our clients have seen success with these over and over. Okay, so let me tell you a quick story about Fabrice. Fabrice launched with us in December of last year, in 2025. Okay, and he launched, and December, it's a holiday, so he sort of like wandered off. But in January, he books a call to me to talk about getting his team set up. And he says, what should I do? I want to learn your system, right? And I said, well, open houses, expired, sold marketing, Facebook, and listing presentation. Just what I just told you, I told him, right? And Fabrice wanders off and does his thing, right? Scott holds an expired workshop for our clients 4 times a week. And he got one of those calls in May. And he says, hey, by the way, I just closed 16 listings in 2 weeks with your system. Okay. Honestly, I think if an agent closed 16 listings in a year, they would be excited. But this gentleman is going a little bit above and beyond. Okay. And I'll show you what he is doing. Okay. If you scroll down this page a little bit further, you're going to see something that's a little more like, on planet Earth. And that's this gentleman up in Boston who closes 1 listing every week for 10 weeks. And he holds 2 to 4 listing appointments every week. Okay. He's trying to get to the point of closing 2 listings every week. Now, wouldn't that be awesome? What is he doing? He is calling expireds. He is holding open houses, and he's marketing sold homes with postcards and Facebook ads. That's it. Okay. Now he gets a lot of listing leads. Okay. He gets a lot because the open houses get listing leads, the expireds get listing leads, and the sold marketing gets listing leads. And he calls all of those leads to get them on the phone so that he can put our listing presentation in their hands. He'll mail it to them or drop it off. Have you seen our listing presentation? This is one. I'm holding it up. It's for expired marketing. So he puts 80 physical listing presentations in his market every month. He has 2 to 4 listing appointments every week. I know some of you are new, but how many of you are putting even 10 a month into your market? Because you want to think about that. If you're here today to get ideas of having more listings in your business, you have to kind of think of it a little bit like a sales funnel, right? The top of the funnel, you're getting leads. Down further the funnel, you're getting this into those leads' hands. And then at the bottom of the funnel, they're signing listing contracts, right? This guy here, Leo, he puts 80 physical listing presentations in his market every month. Now, Fabrice does it slightly differently, but here's what's really cool and kind of unusual. Fabrice calls agents with listings and asks, can I borrow your listings? Okay. So then he's doing all this by calling agents with super beautiful luxury listings in Miami, right? And then he gets this Near Eye Homeowner letter, which we're going to look at in a few minutes. And he mails it out in a ring around, like the first 2 blocks around the listing the first week. The second week, the next 2 blocks. And the third week, a wider ring. It's a piece of paper he's mailing. But that piece of paper is showing a luxury home. And when those people scan or click the link and go to the link, they're seeing this awesome home and they're associating Fabrice with this property, even though it's borrowed. Now, he also shares a couple of tools in his CRM, and he shares them in his WhatsApp group. He's got a lot of people who he chats with on real estate issues. And so he's sharing the tools. So we'll go look at that a little bit later of like exactly the things they're doing. But I want to point out that Fabrice is doing the bulk of this on borrowed listings. Okay. Now he does run ads on just listed open houses and sold properties, right? So that's great for his brand because every time you run an ad, 1,000, 2,000 people are going to see that. You're getting leads with name, email, and phone number, right? But that's it, right? So if you are tracking with what I'm saying, you can get off this call because that's all you need to do is hold open houses, work expireds, and market sold properties and work your leads, right? That's the short story. So I'm going to close this. And before we get into all those things and the nuts and bolts, a lot of you are new. You need to know about this first page in your account. It says resources, because here you can sign up for live webinars like the one we're on right now. Every call is recorded, so it's on our YouTube channel, which we were just looking at. We've got a great Instagram channel. If you're on Instagram, follow us there. And then there's our mastermind group, right? So let's talk about the live webinars. That's this page right here. And that page, you'll notice we have 4 expired workshops this week. If expireds are happening in your market, do not ignore that. Do not, and let me give you, the thing that panics realtors right away. We are not asking you to call those homeowners the first day they expire. We actually encourage you not to do that. We ask you to call them 3 months after they expire. Some clients, like the guy Leo over there that closes 1 listing every week, he waits 2 to 3 years before he calls them. Make sure they're not relisted, and then he calls them, and he's able to convert them, right? So this week, later today, we have another expired workshop, sold marketing. I'm going to show you a couple things in sold marketing, but tomorrow there's a class on sold marketing, and you want to get real good at that. And yes, you can borrow listings to market sold properties and get your own listings, right? Another expired landing pages. Some of these landing pages are for buyers, some of them for sellers, more expired. And then Monday we start over. Okay. That is on lead gen webinars. If you're not a client, you can still join our classes. Just find us at leadgenwebinars.com, and they'll be there. But everything is on our YouTube channel. Everything is recorded. So if our schedule doesn't match yours, feel free to watch them on YouTube, right? Now, we do also have a mastermind group, and I highly recommend that all of you, what is wrong with, okay, there we go, that you all jump into this mastermind group at least 15 minutes a week and see what's going on, right? You're gonna see Scott and I talking about stuff, but you're also gonna have other questions from agents about what they're doing and what they're not, and what they're trying and what's working and what's not working. Now, you'll notice that call here from Fabrice is right here. You'll also notice there's a golden letter, which you might want to apply also, which is both of these are basically, how are we going to get more listings, right? Martel is asking, is it possible to use the flip book to door knock online for home valuation leads? Exactly. So he's asking a good question, and I'm going to answer that question for you, right? Here's Bridget, and Bridget, you're on the call here, right? So yeah, you put something in here as well. And Scott's got a new challenge. I just saw it. I didn't have time to see what's going on. Yeah, expired, canceling FSBOs. Yeah, like, he's basically putting a challenge. You might want to get on this and get in there. It's going to be a group effort to help you get more business, right? And then, open house. So there's a lot here, but definitely check out our mastermind group. And you can find all those on the resources page. So now that we know all that, let me repeat myself. Let me have a sip of coffee and repeat myself of the things that you need to walk away with here today and put into your business. Facebook ads, expired marketing, open house marketing, sold marketing, and our listing presentation. Okay. If you put those into your business consistently over and over and work your leads, your business will grow. When you log in, and I know some of you just signed up today and some of you are new, and there's a wizard where you put your headshot, right? And you put your logo and you put your colors. And when you've done that, you could come here to this listing presentation page, and you could click on listing presentation flipbook, and you would find your listing presentation right here, right? And it's got your branding. It's got your picture, your logo, right? And this is the listing presentation that you want to get familiar with, because this is what we're doing with all of your listings automatically, right? And I can tell you that this listing presentation across the country is starting conversations with homeowners with our clients like you. Okay. Now you can print this. I have one printed in my hand here. And this one's an expired one, but the one that we're looking at online is the standard one, not expired. And you can mail it, you can door knock with it, right? That's part of, kind of the expired story. And that gentleman is asking in the mastermind group, he's like, is it possible to use the flip book to door knock an old online home value lead? What does he mean? He means that he got a seller lead somewhere. We don't even know where, but he wants to present this. Is it possible? Well, it is, because you can download this on your iPad or your laptop, and it's boom, it's right here, right? You just say, hey, you know what? I'm a realtor in the area. Saw you, wanted your home value one day, whatever it was, right? But it gets even better than that, because if you go here into your account and you say, I want to add a listing, and I'm going to manually add a listing that is either, let's just wait here. It's either a listing presentation. So that's what Martel was asking the mastermind group. He's got an old seller lead, so he wants to create a listing presentation. Or maybe you're reaching out to a FSBO, or you're reaching out to an expired. All of these, when you click here, it says, what's their name? You type in their name, you put their address, you save and add one photograph. And when you do that, well, now you get our listing presentation customized to one homeowner. Okay. And this, I think, is honestly one of the most powerful tools you're going to find anywhere to get homeowners to talk to you. There's lots of ways of capturing seller leads. We're going to talk about some of those ways right now, right? But I don't know what tools you're going to use. And maybe you've got other companies that are giving you seller leads, right? I don't know, but there's a bunch of tools I'm going to talk about here in Listings to Leads today. And you might use some, you might use all. But if you want those leads to get in a conversation with you, you want to get this in front of them. And the longer answer is yes, you can, Scott says, yeah, you can print it, or, but the better answer would be, hey, why don't you create a custom one and then go door knock them and pull out your iPad and flip through here so they can see their home on social media, on what a paid ad looks like, what it's going to look like on YouTube and in print. This is rock solid. If you are meeting somebody and you get to this page and you've built this custom deal here, pause on this page and say, hey, homeowner, why don't you bust out your smartphone and scan that QR code? And what's going to happen is their home is going to pop up on their phone. And they're going to be, frankly, blown away at that, because they did not see that. And especially if you're talking to an expired homeowner, they want to sell their home, right? It just didn't sell. We don't know why, but it didn't sell. And this is basically telling a marketing story of everything you're going to do, and they can see it and they can visualize their home knowing exactly what you're going to do. This is something that you want to get in your business. So how do we get seller leads, right? Let's go to the listings page and talk about that. Let me ask you, what do you think you got to do to get seller leads? And let me answer for you. You want to hold open houses, you want to market sold homes, and you want to work expireds. Now, there are big, long classes on all those, so I'm not going to go in deep detail, but we're going to cover the highlights, and you can invest a little more time to figure it out. So first of all, when it comes to expireds, wait 3 months. Okay. And I definitely like the custom listing presentation. I mean, you just can't beat that, right? But it's hard to scale that, right? Because I don't know, there may not be a lot of expired listings in your market, right? If there's just a few, you might create the custom one and print it yourself. But if there are a lot and you're really going after this as a major channel, you might want to purchase some of our listing presentations. I was holding one in my hand for expireds, and you can order expired or standard or even canceled or FSBO. I think you definitely want to have standard, especially if you're holding open houses, and expireds if you're working expireds, right? You order the setup, and then what that is we mock it up and we send it to you, and we tell you, do you like this? And then you say yes, and great, go order 10, 20, 30, 40 copies, right? You remember I was telling you that Leo in Boston puts 80 in his market every month, right? 40 expired and 40 standard, right? So in the little comments panel, I just shared the link that we're looking at right here where you can order your own. But I also want to point out that a lot of our clients really like, let me find this, guys. They like that custom one I showed you, right? You could tell that that's compelling, right? That's like a serious deal there. So this little device here, you can order on Amazon for 60 bucks. And so if you print our custom one, like this one, and you want to bind it so it's in a high quality kind of wrapper, well, that's right here on Amazon, right? So you print it at home, or you send it to Kinko's or something, and you print it there. I'm gonna send you this link. It's that's there, right? That pudding, and you want that quality version of this, right? We don't make it available to print one-off single custom ones in our system. We do them in kind of the bulk of 10, and you have that link as well. Okay, so first of all, back to expireds. Wait 3 months, and let me tell you, on our homepage are 3 different agents who are working them. I think I told you about JJ already, right? She calls people day one. We don't recommend that. She leaves 2 voice messages. They don't respond because hundreds of agents are calling them. And then she texts them once and says, would you like to see my listing presentation? No response. Then she creates a custom one with the name and address of that homeowner and their picture throughout, and then texts this to them and says, if you're thinking of selling, please click this link. I'll show you. You'll see how I sell homes. That's how she does it. 4 listings in 6 weeks. Not bad, right? In a tiny, tiny town in Northern Iowa. This gentleman is 20 years in the industry, and he likes to door knock. And he'll tell you that he has this expired listing presentation. You can find his name is Scott Murray. He's on our in our YouTube channel. He door knocks, and in 3 days adds 2.7 million to his listing pipeline in 3 days of door knocking. So he's waiting 3 months, and then he reaches out to these people, right? And you know, if you like door knocking, great example. This gentleman, he actually leaves voice messages, and he'll be, you know, he basically says, hey, I see you were trying to sell your home. I just wanted to let you know I'm a realtor in the area. I would like to just come by and shake your hand and introduce myself. Really non-salesy, non-pushy. A lot of those people say yes. And when he gets there, he puts this in their hands. Hey, by the way, I sell homes. This is how I sell expired homes. Your home is expired. This gentleman is becoming a top listing agent in a very large office. I launched their office. By the way, guys, if you need a team account, if you need a broker account, that's what I do here. I set those up. But yeah, John, so you got 3 different ways of hitting expireds. But the thing that I want to make sure you are aware of is you're not calling them on day one. You can door knock. You can create a custom one. You can text them, however you want to do it. wait 3 months, please, at least, right? And John will tell you in the call, he's on our YouTube channel. He was so excited when we did this interview with him of him like closing all these listings that he's like, yeah, you know what? I try to call them in the first month. And he says, let me tell you, it's just not worth it. It just does not work. And that's because they're being called by a lot of other people. So wait 3 months, make sure they're not relisted. And now you got a powerful tool to get them engaged and talking to you. That's the short story. Okay. So let's talk about sold. This is an easy one, right? So Scott does a class, doing a class thing tomorrow on sold marketing. And he'll go into more detail of all the things you can do. So I'm going to give you the short story right here of the things that you want to do. First of all, run a Facebook ad. This will get you leads on Facebook for about $7 or $8 each, with name, email, and phone number auto-populated by Facebook. That's why so many clients love our Facebook ad software, right? This says this home is sold. You might want to say, if it's true, right? Sold quickly, right? Like I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago. I said, yeah, I was in contract in 4 days, which is awesome. That's not happening everywhere, right? But multiple offers, put that in there right up at the top, like I'm doing, right? If you sold above asking, absolutely put this in the top 2 lines. And run your ad. Boom. You're going to get leads with name, email, and phone number. Okay. That's the first thing you should absolutely be doing. Now, you will see the nearby homeowner letter. And you remember I was talking about Fabrice over there who's borrowing listings and mailing this out. He's not even waiting for it to be sold. He's just like saying, hey, this is for sale, right? So this nearby homeowner letter, our clients use when it's just listed. They use it when they have an open house, and they use it when it's sold. Now, this time it's kind of obvious. Hey, this home is sold. That affects your home value. Go get your home value, right? That makes sense. That I showed you the call with Fabrice. He is mailing this out over and over on borrowed listings. And they look so good that people are like, yeah, I want to sell my home too, right? So I want to stress this to you. What we're talking on a computer here, right? But this is actually a piece of paper that you print and you get in the neighborhood. You mail it, or you door knock it. But a lot of our clients will mail it to people with equity, right? There's an easy way to do that. If you have an account with Express Copy, you connect it. And when you click this button, this tells Express Copy, hey, Express Copy, you download this and you fold this and you put it in an envelope and you mail it to people that have owned a home for more than 6 years in whatever radius you decide. This is actually what you want to be doing with this. Now, you can do it. You can buy your own list and you can do it by hand. And you can make the envelopes look really awesome. Totally recommend that. But if you want an easy way, Express Copy will do that for you right here. Okay. This is something that many of our clients have been showing us results for years. This actually has the highest quality. In the past, we would tell you these have the highest quality leads you're going to get because you're mailing a piece of paper to homeowners. They got to look at it and make a quick decision like, yeah, I do want my home value. And if they go through those steps of taking this piece of paper to their own computer, filling this out, giving you their contact information, that is a high quality lead. It is a higher quality lead than running an ad on Facebook. Okay. So you got to kind of think of that. Like, this is going to be harder to get in the market. It's going to be more expensive to get in the market, but it is higher quality leads. Okay. So you put everything in and you measure it, how you're going to put it in your business. Now, this home is sold. So Facebook ad, nearby homeowner letter. Maybe you want to do this just sold postcard, right? Because the just sold postcard has a link and a QR code that's going to drive them to a page that says home is sold and affects your home value. Get your home value. If you turn it over, it says that affects your home value. Go to that webpage and get your home value, right? Remember I mentioned Leo up in Boston, and I said he does 3 things. He holds open houses, he works expireds, and he markets sold homes. There's only two things he does to market a sold home. He mails out these postcards and he runs Facebook ads. That's it. And he puts 80 listing presentations in his market, right? Now, if you've got a bunch of leads in a CRM, there's an e-flyer for your database. You can copy it right here and just go blast it out on your leads. That link and that link and that link are going to drive people to a page that says, hey, this home is sold, it affects your home value, get your home value. If they scroll down the email, it says that affects your home value, go here, here, or here to get your home value. One email with multiple call to actions. In this case, because it's a sold home, multiple ways of getting listing leads, right? So there's other stuff, database call scripts, and listing flyers that say the home is sold. But that's the gist, that up there, what I just showed you, that's how you market something that's sold, okay? So we know now kind of how to work expireds, right? And we know that there's going to be classes and workshops to help you get better at that. We now know how to market a sold property, right? Well, what is it about open houses that makes it so important to get more listings? And this one's a little more to it, but it's easy to understand. Let me have a sip of coffee. I've been talking. My voice is feeling a little bit weird. So this home is an open house, right? Scott does a class on open houses. You will find that recording on the YouTube channel. Please, 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 if you're trying to grow your business, hold open houses. And it's funny because I talk to realtors all week long, and I kind of feel like if a realtor's been in the industry for any amount of time, like a long amount of time, if I ask them if you're going to hold open houses, and let me ask all of you on the call here, do just give me a yes or no. Do you hold open houses? Because I think the more seasoned professionals would tell you no. I actually just spoke to a guy who's been a longtime realtor in Texas. He just moved up to his home state of Iowa. And he's like, I understand the value of open houses. So I was glad to hear that, because he's asking me, like, what can I do? I'm like, you got to do, okay, I get it, right? So what do you do in an open house? Well, you run a Facebook ad for sure, right? You get the e-flyer for your database. You blast out your leads, right? You get our open house sign-in form, and you have that ready on your laptop or iPad. Okay, we got a couple people here that do open houses, but here, the nearby homeowner letter, this is why you hold open houses with listings to leads. You print this, okay? Yeah, Bridget, I think you came in the mastermind group and said something like you were holding an open house just a week or two ago and gave us some feedback. That was awesome. We appreciate that, Bridget. This, which we looked at earlier, the nearby homeowner letter, is why you want to hold open houses if you want more listings. You notice it says, I got an open house from 1 to 4. Go check it out. But that affects your home value. And that's go here to get your free home value. So we already created this landing page here to get an instant home value, and it's auto associated to that open house flyer, right? So you want to print this like 100 times and give it to the neighbors, right? You don't want to do that on Friday night if you got an open house on Saturday. You want to start working your open house on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, right? You want to give that ad enough time to be seen by 1,000 people or more, right? And you need to get this piece of paper into the neighborhood. I'm going to turn off my little camera here because I don't want my bandwidth to get chewed up here. So this is really the key. This is so important. And I'm going to tell you, you can hold open houses for other agents and still get this benefit, still get this value, still get your own listings from sitting on somebody else's open house. Because the piece of paper I just showed you, it's driving leads to you, right? You're going to be sitting there. This is going to help you benefit from that. If you've got a bunch of leads in your CRM, there's an email, there's an e-flyer. It's got the time right there. Buyer leads up here, seller leads down here, right? Blast your leads on your CRM. There's an open house sign-in form, right? You can use this on your laptop. QR code to drive people there, all kinds of stuff, right? Listing flyers. You can use these at the open house. QR codes drives them to the page to get more, leads. Those QR codes, by the way, that are on these listing flyers, they drive to this site, right? They drive to this site right here. And this site is a single property website. And because I have an open house, that time and date is going to be on this, okay? It's right here. But if you look at this page, you're going to see a lot of buttons like follow this home and schedule a tour and this, and, you know, view our marketing plan. This is all lead capture. There's multiple ways to capture leads. There's also this big thing. What is your home worth? And I want to point this out because you saw my nearby homeowner letter. Now we're looking at the single property website. You're starting to realize like this is all over the place, right? When they click continue with Facebook, we grab their name and email and we email it to you. I can download any of the PDF guides that we created for you. Just answer a couple of questions and click that button so that we can get your name and email and deliver it to you. The point I'm trying to make here that I want you to understand is that everything that we design is designed to help you find the sellers. This is an open house single property website, but we're still saying, hey, would you like to know your home value? And because of that, I want to make sure that all of you go over into your account and go to the landing page section and make sure that this page, the first one that we see on this page, looks like your market, okay? Because this is the default picture that we put here. And if I click the pencil, I can change that picture. And I don't know where everybody is. You're in different parts of the country, right? So does that look like your market? If it does, cool, carry on. If it doesn't, click that background picture and put in a picture that looks like your area. So we have a lot of clients, you know, on waterfront, you know, areas in Florida. Get one of those beautiful beaches out there, right? Here in Arizona with a lot of desert and Texas and all that. It's, well, this can kind of look like Texas, right? But some of our clients are up in you know, the Seattle area and Oregon and up in Vermont, and you know, we even have clients in the Caribbean. Does that look like the Caribbean to you? It does not, right? So just take a moment, get to that landing page section and make sure that that looks like your market, because that's auto embedded all over the place. Okay. So we've talked about expireds, and we've talked about open houses, and we've talked about sold marketing. These are the top ways of getting more listings, more listing leads, right? And we also talked about the listing presentation, so we know that we can go out and convert those leads. Now, there's some other things that we should talk about, but those things, I want to stress it upon you at this point, especially open houses and expireds. What we're going to jump into here now going forward on the rest of this call is other marketing tools, okay? And those tools are ways to advertise, right? And to capture leads. And capturing leads is awesome. That's why listings to leads still exists. People find us and they realize, whoa, I get a lot more leads with these guys for my dollars than any other company, right? That's why we're here. However, Scott and I think we're more focused not on just capturing leads, but getting business for our clients, right? Signed agreements and commissions for our clients. And that's why you need to be thinking about what I've told you on expired and open houses, because in those two activities, you are meeting people. And those leads close a lot faster than when you capture an email address or whatever online, right? Capturing leads and converting leads, you know, if it would be awesome if I could say, hey, you know what, go run an ad on an open house and get 10 leads and have 10 different conversations with, you know, buyers. Like, that would be awesome, but that would not be based in fact. That would not be reality. That's not what's happening. Our clients convert 1 to 6% of their leads from Facebook, right? Now, this lady here up in Virginia, she'll tell you, I ran a $35 ad. I'm talking to 3 active buyers, and I'm going to get 1 listing from 1 open house ad for $35. Well, that's awesome, but that's not happening every day here. What's happening every day is our clients convert 1 to 5 or 1 to 6%. And those people that are converting on the higher end, they're using, AI to work those leads. They got a better system. And most importantly, they are working their leads, right? That's not in the wheelhouse of all agents. So, leveraging AI, and we actually have our own AI down here on the left under leads that will help you convert 14% of your leads to phone calls. So if you're running ads on Facebook, you probably want to have a look at that. But all that being said, expireds and open houses, you are shaking hands. You will do business with people much faster if you shake in their hand. It's obvious, right? So let's go over here and talk about a couple of other things. Yes, we have landing pages. And, you can go up here to create a landing page and create a FSBO landing page. And you would have a page that you could actually market to FSBOs, right? I got one right here for Orlando. Click on marketing tools. Well, how would you market a FSBO landing page? Well, you could run an ad on Facebook. I wouldn't really recommend it. You can. I don't think that's the best way of approaching a FSBO. A much better way is running an ad on Google. Because Google, I think I'm having a problem on this page here. Yeah, give me a second here. I saw this last week. I should have had it fixed. Yeah, I can't open it in my account. But when you're a homeowner and you are thinking of being a FSBO, you I'm sure want to save commission, right? But you sort of think like, I can do this myself, right? But I'm pretty sure that most homeowners who are FSBOs are not just winging it without doing any research. And the majority of people in the United States will start on Google to do that research. And I wish I could show you. I gotta fix this. I can't seem to open that page. But we have the keywords and the descriptions and the headlines to make that Google ad work, okay? And people will click that and they will land on a page. We even have an e-flyer for your database. If you've got a lot of leads, you should send this FSBO thing out maybe once a quarter, maybe 6 times a year, because there's not everybody's FSBO, right? But I would definitely recommend printing up postcards and door hangers, because this is for FSBOs. And all of those things I'm showing you, they all drive to this page right here. And so when you see a FSBO, I don't know how you're seeing it. Maybe you see it on Zillow. Maybe you see it, you got some, companies selling you leads or whatever. Maybe you see it in the MLS. I don't know. But if you get this page in front of them, you're basically offering them free tools, right? Would you like a flyer? Would you like a virtual tour? Yes, I want those. Fill this out and give me that information. And when you fill this out, let me see if I can do this real fast. And just gonna put that there and a phone number. Get these tools. What happens? Can we have a photograph? Upload a photograph of this home, right? So at this point, you got their name and address, and now they can upload a photograph of their home, which they probably have, and send images. Oh my God, please enter your information. Can I skip this, or do I have to do the whole thing? Oh, okay, I at least need this. So I don't know if you can hear my phone or my computer telling me I've got a lead. But this right here is creating tools automatically, because you have their address and you have a photo, because the landing page did the work, right? So at this point, you're not just like a random realtor calling FSBOs, which there are many. You're actually getting marketing tools to that homeowner. And let's go look at them. They're actually not branded to you. Here it is right here. So while I filled that out, this created all those tools that I requested, and it sent it to him. And we copied you, right? And you can say, hey, I saw that you saw my FSBO marketing. I'm a realtor in the area. I just wanted you to know that this is a free service that I do, right? A lot of realtors don't want to deal with FSBOs, but if you are one of those realtors, you want to know that this is available sitting in your account. Now, what I'm showing you right here, I just clicked on the button that says Flipbook, and this takes a minute to generate because we just got that, right? But you remember that cool listing presentation I showed you for the expired home? Well, now I'm going to have another one for the FSBO, right? And so you can wait a few minutes. You can wait, I'm sorry, a couple months. You get these tools to them. You start a conversation. You answer any questions for them. But after a month or two, you can go get this flipbook that we've auto-generated for you. And you could send it to and say, by the way, I am a realtor here. If you click this link to see how I sell homes, right? So we'll let that bake and we'll come back to it. Now, I want to point out, you all have a PDF guide section, right? You all have more than 80 PDF guides, some for buyers and some for sellers. Click on the sellers and you'll realize that all of these are branded to you on every page with your logo, your headshot. And you can run ads on Facebook. You can run ads on Google. Actually, Google works really well for the seller PDF guides. We actually recommend Google highly when you want listing leads, right? Oh, here, now Google works. Okay. So this is, I was mentioning Google. It doesn't, Google on the ad side, it doesn't have like big pictures. So it looks like this. This is what it looks like on a desktop. Here is the value. Here's why our Google ad software is so powerful. We put all the keywords in there for you. When people type in words that they're searching, it's going to be, these are the words that we're auto embedding for you. We give you all the headlines. These blue things here are headlines. You need to have 4. We give you 10. You need to have multiple descriptions. We give you 4. You need 3. It's all done automatically. Whether you're marketing a landing page or you're marketing any of the 80 PDF guides, it's all done for you. I definitely recommend, well, first of all, I definitely recommend Google, but the leads are more expensive than Facebook, and the leads are definitely higher quality than Facebook. Okay. So you got to watch your budget, but if you get what I've described to you going in your business, if you start working expired, you start working open houses, soul marketing, and you start getting your machine going and you got some revenue going, you might want to think about adding Google to your business, because that is a real avenue to get high quality seller leads. They are more expensive. Okay. Now, Google ads are there. There's an e-flyer for your database. So this is free. If you got a lot of leads in your account, you could just blast this out on your leads. People can download it. They got to give you their contact information, right? Yes, we have postcards and door hangers. I don't know if I really recommend that because print is expensive, but if you really wanted to, sure, you could do that, right? So you've got PDF guides for homeowners. You got landing pages for homeowners. I'm going to talk about one last thing, and I'm going to ask you, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments panel now, because I'm going to tell you a story about how to farm. Okay. And this is a short story, but we have more classes on it. But this is what you need to kind of understand. Okay. If you got an area, and I just spoke to a young lady just, I don't know, an hour ago, who is in the Los Angeles area. Okay. And I said, where are you targeting? Right? What are the areas? And she said, this one little area called Baldwin Hills. Okay. And so I told her this, and I tell you this, if you're thinking of farming a particular area, you want to use our platform, and you want to think about it in this ways. You want to do it with print, you want to do it with email, and you want to do it with social media, free social media and paid ads. Okay, like that's it. Now, there's other cool stuff you can do, but with our system, this is what you want to be thinking of. And the reason why I'm showing you this company is this is one of many companies that exist on the internet to help you buy a list of homeowners in your area, maybe in your city, maybe in your zip code. RedX does this, ListSource does this, Arch Agent, and they, depending on who you talk to, they'll tell you this company is good or this company is bad. I've heard good things about Remind. Got examples of people just blowing up and starting their own office with Remind data. I've also had conversations with agents saying, oh, Remind data is really bad. I honestly don't know. You are welcome to go do a little more research on that. But what you do want is a list of homeowners that have owned a home for at least 5 years, and you want their name, email, phone number, and mailing address. Okay? And now with that, you can go farm. So let's talk about what you can do. Well, you can take that list and put it in your CRM, and you know that you've got a bunch of PDF guide, e-flyer for your databases. So you can email them something every week. You'd have content for well over a year. And you want them to know that you're the realtor. So why not email them, right? You could say, hey, you know what? I want to mail out a postcard on one of these PDF guides, maybe on downsizing, or I want to mail out a postcard on a landing page, or I want to mail out the letter for the free home values, maybe once a quarter, right? So that they're or maybe once a month, because you can create landing pages for all your favorite areas, right? So you're emailing them, and you are mailing something to them. Now, what about Facebook? And this is where it gets really pretty awesome. I have a landing page here for Walnut Creek. And Walnut Creek is a little town by me, right? And some of you are in smaller kind of country areas, and some of you are in places where there's a lot of cities around you, right? And so I want to point out that you want to create a home value page for your area if you want better results. Now, this is Walnut Creek, and that little picture you see is like the center of the biggest mall in Walnut Creek, and frankly, the whole county. And this is a very popular little spot. So I could go, what is your, up here, you just click up here and type in Walnut Creek, Homeworth, right? And it says, what is your Walnut Creek home potential sale price, right? And there's a picture of Walnut Creek. So this is all looking good, right? So you would think, hey, let's type in Walnut Creek and we're good to go. Let's start printing money, right? Boom, all good. You would think that that's going to be awesome. But you would be disappointed. And unfortunately, many of our clients do not take this class, and they don't know what I'm about to tell you. And they go run an ad, and they don't customize a page for Walnut Creek. They just use our generic free home value one, and they blow $50, and they're like, oh, what's wrong, right? Let me tell you some of the things that are wrong. First of all, they did not create a page that looks like their area. And even the language, the text in the ad doesn't even mention their area like Walnut Creek, right? But probably the biggest problem for us in using Facebook is that Facebook doesn't allow you to target the people living in Walnut Creek. Okay? And that's a big problem. Let's go look at that real quick. Find it. Where is it? Let's see here. Here. You see this Walnut Creek and 15-mile radius? I cannot shrink 15. That's as tight as I can get. But a 15-mile radius around Walnut Creek is kind of a problem. Because let me show you. This is Walnut Creek right here in the middle of my screen. And this over here on the left, this is 15-mile radius. This whole thing, it's actually not even. Yeah, it's about 15-mile radius right here. So there's only 33,000 people that live in Walnut Creek. Okay. But it's a great area and I want to market. But you know how many people live in this broader 15-mile radius? Well over 1 million people. So my ad is going to be seen by a lot of people who don't even live in that area. And this is, again, a big reason why that kind of ad doesn't do too well. So when you're thinking, I want to dominate Walnut Creek, or I want to dominate Beverly Hills, or I want to, work all of Orlando, whatever, right? Whatever your city is, go get that list of homeowners. Get that list into your CRM and use our email tools. And then mail that list because you have their address, mail them something once a quarter or once a month. But then you see this button here that says create audience. You can create a list that says Walnut Creek homeowners. You type that there, you upload it. It has to look just like this, and you import it. And this list will live in your Facebook ad account. Okay. And that's really the key. All right. Because now when you run an ad on your, let's see if I can get back there, on your page, instead of running an ad and saying 15 miles around Walnut Creek, you can say, well, let's just do it real quickly. Target the people on my custom audience. Okay. And that's when this thing becomes incredibly powerful. You type in the name of your list there, and this will hit there. Steve asked a question, where do we get this home value? There's a company called Onboard Infometrics. Is it 100% accurate? No. But it definitely is good. It doesn't work everywhere because this is not like Zillow that's just like putting a bunch of numbers together and doing some math. They actually are reaching into county records and tax records and stuff like that and putting valuations together. Some counties don't, some areas just don't have that data. And so, it works, I would say, in like 95% of all over the United States, but not everywhere. So it's worth testing out if you want to see, if that's accurate enough. The point is, it's going to help you get contact information of people who want to know their home's value. And I'm sure, Steve, you have some really awesome ways of doing that, right? But we're going to help you get the contact information on those people. Are there any other questions about what's going on here of how to get seller leads, and most importantly, how to convert those seller leads? And if you don't remember, it's really going to be our listing presentation, right? Are there any other questions? Because if not, thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. I hope this helped you. As I'll, repeat myself, what I have described here for you in this past hour has been working for agents all over the country for many years. I hope you're able to apply it to your business. We have an awesome support team on the bottom left. If you get stuck anywhere, they will definitely help you. If you need a team account, you can always find me. I'm on our website. I'm happy to help you. Put your question here. The whole support team watches right there. And also, we do live training 9 times a week. It's all there, ready to help you grow your business. I hope you take advantage of it. Support is at support@listingstoleads.com, or you can just come to the support page right here, Steve, and put it here, and the whole support team gets it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week, and let us know, how we can help. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.